Hi, welcome to WG Content's first Tips in 10 Minutes from WG Content, formerly Writer Girl Associates. We're actually doing something a little bit different today. We're coming to you from a restaurant in Cincinnati. I'm here with my friends from Cincinnati Children's Hospital, Amy Okin and Missy. She's actually holding the camera for us today. And Amy does many things over at Cincinnati Children's, one of which is to lead and manage a lot of the physician communications. So why don't you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your role at Cincinnati Children's?
Sure. Thanks. So I've been with Cincinnati Children's for about 7 years. I lead our subspecialist physician strategy. So really targeting subspecialist physicians and trying to increase our reputation among them.
Yeah. And you've done a very nice job of that, winning U.S. News and World Report's #1 slot next year. So, yeah, I know, but that's super exciting. Yeah, it was fun celebrating that with you guys. But you've been doing this work for about 25 years, is that right?
Correct. Okay. Marketing for healthcare.
Okay. Yeah.
But physician communication is a big part of that.
Yeah. One of the things we were talking about is the study that we did last year around the state of content planning, and realizing that one of the primary challenges that marketers have is working with physicians, getting them involved in the content creation, getting them to approve the process or approve the content, getting them time on their calendar for interviews. So you've been doing this for a long time. Is there anything that you would love to pass along as tips that have worked really well for you in building those relationships with physicians?
Yeah, so I think a big piece of this, because we do a lot of content planning, and we need to involve the physicians in the process, right? Because they are our audience as well. So they know what other physicians, what other specialists are going to be interested in. They also know what we're doing, what they're doing at Cincinnati Children's that is newsworthy. We're very fortunate at Cincinnati Children's because we do have a lot of top world-leading research, procedures, programs. So that's super helpful. And involving the physicians at the beginning is really important, just so we know what we want to do.
Yeah.
And then the other piece is we need to keep those relationships built in because they're our biggest partners.
Right.
And that doesn't happen overnight, but it's something that we like to work with them on.
Yeah.
I think another key to developing that relationship is, yes, involve them in the planning, and also we circle back after we run a relation and let them know what works well.
Oh, that's nice.
We share our metrics as far as, how many people came to the articles for each different topic.
So how do you talk to us a little bit about that part? Like, how do you communicate the results to them? Do you have running meetings? Is it like a newsletter that you send out? Like, what's the kind of the platform and the forum to be able to close the loop on the performance?
Yeah, so I think I always try to have a meeting to kind of wrap up the previous communication, previous promotion, and then start planning for the next one, because they go hand in hand. We can see what happened with, what performed well in the previous communication, and then use that as a platform to start planning the next communication.
And do you find that all of there's a lot of doctors at Cincinnati Children's, so do you work with the same ones? How do you, is it, I imagine it's driven by topic and service line and sort of specialty and what you're working on, but talk a little bit more about how you get them involved, because they're busy people.
Sure. And
you said get them involved up front. So how are you able to do that? So I think that's a challenge that we keep hearing, is it's just really tough because they're busy and they have, challenging and demanding schedules.
Exactly.
So how do you do that?
So I work with the Heart Institute. That's one of the areas that I focus on. And so from a planning perspective, I work with Heart Institute leaders, executive co-directors. So they have an executive co-director for research, cardiothoracic surgery, and cardiology. And so we kind of get the whole heart picture right there.
Yeah.
So that's who we start with from a planning perspective. And then we do look at topics. So it is topics, if we're looking at something in electrophysiology, obviously we want to talk to the electrophysiologist. And so I know a lot of the docs where they can let me know who the best person is to talk about each subject, and then we connect with them directly, or connect our writers with them directly to write those.
Yeah. Okay.
And it is a challenge because they are busy, but I do think, at least at Cincinnati Children's, our doctors are very willing to participate. Time is the biggest challenge, so finding time on their schedules, but we've had a lot of success and a lot of great apps who want to participate and share.
Well, I think a lot of times too, it's like you have the success story, you leverage that success story, right? So you're able to say like, this is the best practice. This is what worked really well. And then you use that to help you get additional doctors and more doctors involved in the process because they see the value of their time in communication, right? It's like they need to they're an audience that almost needs to be sold to as well internally and say like, it's really important for you to be involved in this.
Right.
It's mission driven and we're educating the community and we have to make sure that people understand what you're doing. And so being able to have examples to share with other physicians putting that as well. Have you had any surprises in your 25 years doing this work? Like maybe a certain type of channel, a distribution channel or a method or anything that sticks out as?
Well, we're always trying to find new channels. So targeting subspecialists would be a challenge because it's a very specific audience. So we're always challenging our media agency, finding ways to reach them. I think we just ran a promotion and we tried a new channel and it performed exceptionally well. So that was very exciting to see when we see one channel that is performing better than another. Then that's really encouraging, and we kind of like to dig in and continue to try that, make sure it continues to work. And then also, even when we have success, we still want to push ourselves to find other ways to do better.
Yeah. So is there any tips or advice that you would give to other people that are in similar roles to help them do their jobs more effectively, efficiently, build those relationships?
I think in general, like when we think about positions and communicating with positions, it's not a one size fits all. You have fellows just coming out of med school. You have, docs who've been practicing for decades. So there's a wide range of doctors. They use their content and want their content in a variety of different ways. So I think the big thing is don't just focus on one area. Look at multiple ways to reach them, whether it's social, digital, email. Make sure that you're diversifying your channels. And then I think the other key thing is when you write your content, I think it's really important to focus on those headlines. You really need a really powerful, hard-hitting headline because sometimes that's the only thing they'll see.
Right, absolutely.
And you want them, even if they just see your headline, you want them to take something away about your hospital. So that's important, but even more so, you want them to click on the headline and read the article. So you want to make sure that it's relevant to what they're interested in. And then once they click on the article, the headline, you want to make sure your content is relevant. But also, physicians are busy.
Right.
You want very punchy articles, something very skimmable. So think bullets, graphics. We're always looking for ways. That's one of our focuses now is how can we make our articles, our content more skimmable. So they can review it quickly, take away a few things quickly, and move on.
All the things that we're very passionate about in our organization, I think it's all about, strong headlines, good use of bullet points, short paragraphs, because even though these are, physicians, they're still really spanning the content, right? I mean, it has to be digestible, it has to be actionable, it has to be something that's easy for them to consume, and it doesn't have to be the big, long words that can become overwhelming. Because I think all of us are scanning our content. We're not really reading it word for word, so I get that and appreciate that. Anything else that you'd like to share with our audience, our tips in 10 minutes audience?
I think overall, when you think about physician communication, I work a lot with, building awareness, building reputation. But if you're looking at building referrals, physicians, I think one thing you just need to make sure that your best approach there is really one-on-one communication with physicians. And that's something that can't be forgotten. Because developing those relationships, whether with a liaison or even better physician-to-physician communication, that's really where you're going to have the most success in driving those referrals and connecting with those doctors, hopefully on a longer term basis. So,
can you share an example of how you've been able to do that really well?
So I don't work as
someone on your team
outreach. We have a team that specializes in med physician
Yeah.
liaisons, and also just as we open new clinics and whatnot, our liaisons will take the doctors out to
Yeah.
meet with local
Yeah.
physicians,
Yeah.
and that really is
Yeah.
important because getting that one-on-one connection. It doesn't always have to be face to face. It could be a follow-up phone call when a doctor gets a referral. And also at Cincinnati Children's, I think our doctors are really good about working with those other physicians, giving the patient back after they have their specialized care, and maintaining that ongoing relationship to ensure the patient has the best care, at the best location.
Yeah. No, I think those are all really good. And I think to summarize, I love that it's, really developing the relationship up front, but that piece about closing the loop and making sure they understand, what the value, how it's contributed to the overall mission of the organization, how it's making a difference in the community, why it's important. I think all of that matters. Obviously, that's why we're all doing it. So being able to close the loop with that. So thank you so much. Hopefully the background noise wasn't so bad here in our restaurant for breakfast, but appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.